rainy. Rainy night in Siargao, so less than a week before Christmas, sitting here hanging out, had a great cup of hot chocolate, one of my favorite cafes, just come here and sit and chill. So, Savannah alone with his thoughts. It's kind of loud here, so I'll share more later about today's event. All right, good morning, what's up guys? This is some shots from coming in yesterday. It was raining all night, went and got some food, and went back to my hotel and I listened to an audiobook, did some journaling, scrolled a little bit on social media. I'm just trying to process this ambivalent time between me and Jen, really trying to get back in touch with who I am and not over giving myself in a relationship, back focused on my mission. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out The Way of the Superior Man, I highly suggest it. It's one of those books that really helps you get back into your masculine frame, understand the polarity between women. Tension is good, a little bit of pressure is good. There needs to be that in a relationship. Also, you have to be on mission as a man, and that has to be your number one priority. For instance, they use the example in the book of like a spouse going off to war, and the woman's like, no, don't go. And he goes, I want to stay, but I have to do my duty. The woman, as much as she wants him to stay, if he did stay, she would probably lose a little form of respect, which I know that sounds crazy, like you stay for her, but yet, because women admire a man on mission that has a purpose. And you see these NBA basketball players, yes, they're rich, yes, they're good looking, good bodies and everything, but you see all these like groupies and women after them. Yes, a lot of it's for the money, but they're a man on a mission. Like, look at these high value 1% men that are about their business. They don't really have to chase girls, because girls come to them because they're on mission. These guys are just basically, believe it or not, women will chase. I've seen it. I've seen celebrity type guys that women are just constant. No, I'm not saying these are high value women all the time. But if you're a man on your mission, you're a man on purpose, you're a man that isn't just your whole relationship, your whole life isn't centered around the relationship, it's centered around your purpose, your path, and that's also an afterthought of it. As much as a woman may say she wants your world to revolve around her, that's not true. She'll lose respect for you. And I think that's what happens in a relationship when we're not a challenge enough. We don't create tension, we don't create polarity, we give too much of ourselves, especially us recovering codependents, Libras, more genuinely sensitive men. I think we give too much of ourselves without boundaries. Now, it's good to be a kind-hearted, don't mistake my kindness for weakness kind of guy. It is good to be genuine of that. What's not good is to not have boundaries with that and to reward bad behavior. And this is something that was impressed on me as I was studying it last night, praying on it, talking to a friend on it, was I give too much even when it hasn't been earned, when it hasn't been reciprocated. Like, if they're only giving 30%, I'm still giving 100%, and that's not right. I have to pull back, and that's a boundary. That's a self-control. That's a love, but with limitations and timing. Don't be so urgent to just give myself away and give my love. My love has to come in basically learned behavior, earned behavior. Like, they tell me how to treat them type of thing. Now, I have an endless amount of supply and love. As a Libra, they say we have the love of 7 men inside of us. I've done a lot of self-work, done a self-evaluation. I'm going through my stuff on this and being like, okay, what did I do wrong in this? What could have I fixed? And what can I do better? And I'm immediately taking a recentering position. Regrounding is the words that came to me as I'm praying and journaling, and just reground. And I went ahead and I felt like in my spirit I was supposed to go back to Davao tomorrow. It's left with ambivalence with Jen. You know, one of the last things she said to me was, maybe we shouldn't talk anymore. So is that, if that's as you wish. Because really what happened, guys, is I challenged her identity with her friendships, and she's very loyal to her friends. She chose her friends over me, and I told her at the end there, I said, listen, you're very loyal to your friends, but that shows me that you're not loyal to me. And they all have this dynamic where they have to protect their image in the group. So I basically stepped into the beehive of, you know, them and their loyalty to one another, them trying to control the narrative, them attacking me as soon as I saw something that was inappropriate, that for me as a man, I wouldn't be okay with. Now, it's not my business to get involved in somebody else's relationship per se, maybe in some moments, but not in this. However, I went back and reviewed the video of what I saw with the friend. I got some advice on that from a close friend, even plugged it into ChatGPT. To kind of say, hey, does this look right? And they're like, no, you ask anybody else, that looks like, it's not cheating, but they look a little too comfy and cozy for her to be with some other guy, to be living with some other guy and baby daddy, and you know, it looks like, it doesn't look good. And of course, I'd escalated the situation when I said to Jen in that moment, I said, when they said, hey, where's Jen? I said, I don't know. For all I know, she could be with another guy. That's what I kind of remember saying. I said, I don't know. I thought she was with her other friend talking, which was the case, but I said it kind of off a whim. I later on walked it back and apologized, but that's what really set Jen off. It's that, the image. Anytime I've embarrassed Jen, anytime we've had issues, it's been one, me trying to get some form of respect or affirmation back, some recognition, her to treat me with, I was more of the man I deserve to be. And anytime we've had issues, it was that place of, sorry guys, there's a drone hovering over us so you can hear it. But anyways, anytime we had issues, even our first little fight and tiff, which I walked back and I apologized, was I felt slighted. I felt like she wasn't valuing me enough. And that's been the whole series of the relationship. And last night, I'm not here to beat her up, but I went through and said, what red flags have I noticed in this? And I know why I came up with, I probably could keep going, but 35 plus, maybe 38, close to 40 already. And I'm like, whoa, what am I doing? And I know God is using this in my life. You know how you watch videos online and it just seems like there's a theme, almost like an algorithm from the universe, from God, from Facebook, from Instagram, from TikTok. Like, they know what you're going through, right? It's obviously, they're listening to us in our phones and stuff, and what we look and what we talk to, probably about ChatGPT or whatever. But there's been a theme of the person you're at odds with right now, they're missing you too. And what God's doing in my life, going back and listening on audiobooks, almost to the whole book last night, in between dozing off a few times, of The Way of the Superior Man. But all that to say, guys, this is the relationship with Jen. What I did is I stepped on her identity toes. Anytime I've embarrassed her or challenged her identity with her friendships, with her public image, with her influencer friends, and the only reason she got to meet most of those people is because of me, but it is what it is. You know, that's part of the perks of being with me, right? But, and I also heard this thing, a man can do 1,000 right things, but he does one thing, or he says one thing wrong. And the woman, and this, they even said this basically in The Way of the Superior Man, which I saw 2 sources on that just last night too. I didn't get much sleep last night either. I know I'm rambling, but I'll get to my point. Is you can do 1,000 things right, do one thing wrong, say one thing wrong, and you're looked at as the demon, as the devil, and women will vilify you because they have to attack you. They don't chase the logic, it's the emotion. And I make the mistake when I rebuttal into emotion. I should never have made that comment to Jen, like, well, maybe she's with another, you know, about Jen, maybe she's with another guy, because I see her other friend out here on the floor talking to some guy, and I know they're best friends, so birds of a feather flock together type of thing. I didn't say all of that, but that's how I meant it. But I walked it back even the next day when when the friend came up to me, I actually gave her a hug. I think I might have told you that in my last video. And she said, I don't want to be at odds with you. But she still went on and posted something negative about me. Unfortunately, she had to do that. But she has to control the narrative, right? Because she's guilty. Because I have evidence on her. I did take a video of her getting a little too close to somebody that, yeah, it wasn't cheating, but it wasn't right either. It was just too close to comfort. Maybe her relationship, the guy wouldn't care. He's very passive. Okay, so be it. But still, you ask anybody, any man in a relationship, that seems a little too close for comfort. Now, I'm not going to make a big deal about it. However, I challenge their narrative. I challenge their group dynamics. Their loyalty was obviously Jen's probably, I don't know if she'll ever come back because she's loyal to her friends to a fault, right? And not to me. And I told her that it told me a lot. She's like, well, yeah, you told me a lot. What you said to me, it's like, hey, I apologize. I didn't say you were with somebody. I said you could be with somebody else, but that's what you heard. Your feelings are valid, okay? I did not mean that. But like, that's why I'm being vilified, not just for one comment. It's that she's people that need ammo. You don't have to give them much. They will take that and they will run with it. And that's what she's doing right now. And so what does this have to do with you, right? Because there's a lot of things that can do to you. Because a lot of this is about relationships. And I feel like my pain right now, what I'm going through, an example of what us men, instead of getting bitter, instead of going red pill, instead of going all Andrew Tate, which he has a lot of good stuff, I'm not saying all of it's bad. Instead of going all Dan Bazarian, which again, he's got a lot of good points himself too. There's some valid things, but they have to be within the right structure. And I say all that to say, how can I level up? How can I be that 1% alpha man of excellence? You know, I want to be that Tom Hardy alpha male, but also who has a sensitive side, but knows his boundaries of how much to release. Because again, I have an abundance of love to give, but the problem is I give too much, hoping to get back, and then I get butthurt if I don't get it back. And that's my codependency. That's my attachment wound. That's my nervous attachment coming out. And so, you know, you trigger people. And Jen, I feel like God brought her in my life. Could she be from a distraction or from a bad place? Because she represents the very type of person that I've been denied by and that I've struggled with insecurities. And I got her and I tasted it, you know, tasted this having a girlfriend like that type of thing. And you tasted the sweetness a little bit, right? But it leaves you with this. And you know, hurt people, you can't fix people, and I have to stay on my mission. And you know, the best thing I'm doing, I'm not responding to Jen right now. Today's technically our 3-month anniversary. I'm not sending anything, not until God tells me when. And I already have the text crafted that I think is right. You know, I plugged that thing into ChatGPT and it told me, you know, hey, that's the right thing to say right there. But you know, and then I also asked, I said, well, I feel like God doesn't want me to. I feel like God wants me to go back to devout and just wait and be silent and be still. I'm like, how do you feel? I asked ChatGPT, what do you think about something like that? He goes, well, that actually aligns with more how God works. He doesn't really tell you exactly what to do or give you like the rah-rah. He gives it very still and silent. He goes, that actually would correlate with how God usually works, is go, be still, prepare. I got the touch to prepare. I got the ticket, all of that. So I'm preparing for repair, but I'm also preparing for more backlash. And I'm not gonna fight, I'm not gonna revisit. I'm not gonna go show the video to the girl's live-in boyfriend, basically fiance. No, I don't want any of that. I don't want no smoke in that. I just want to come out a better man. I want to recenter, and again, that's what God's doing. And today, my whole thing is today to go around this island it's kind of rainy here, so we'll see how long this rain holds off. But guys, today I'm gonna just do a next video for the next day, maybe the next day after that, of what God reveals to me in my spirit today as I go. So I hope you'll enjoy the day. This will probably be drawn out in a few different days, and if he gives me nothing, he gives me nothing. But I got my journal ready. He told me to come to the bridge today. I felt like I need to come to the bridge, shoot this video. I'm just being raw with it, so sorry it's a little longer, but guys, when you go through this and you've overgiven, you have to take your power back. You got to step back, recenter with God, ask for forgiveness for areas that you've messed up, and then refocus. Get silent with God. He speaks in the stillness and the silence, and then from there, you move forward, charge ahead, back in your center of who you really are, with proper boundaries. Still genuine, still kind, but with proper boundaries. So that's what I got for you today. I'll have more later. Thanks, guys.